I would basically call this happens 100% in all individuals' life one time or the other. Sometimes it happens once, sometimes it happens twice. And sometimes, which is very, 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 very rare, it happens 3 times. This is called the 7.5-year period of Saturn, when you're undergoing a Saturn period. Now, this is not an affliction of any kind. This is a natural phenomena that happens in everybody's lives. Like there's a 7.5-year period, the reoccurring is 2.5-year period of Saturn. So when clients or the individuals come and ask me that they're feeling very lethargic and things are just not moving forward, how much ever they have tried hard, on seeing their natal charts and the transit chart. Now, like in Mangal Dosha, you just see the natal charts. Whereas when you are undergoing a Saturn period, which is 7.5-year period or 2.5-year period, you tend to see the natal and the transit charts. That this year, are you undergoing any kind of 2.5-year period or a 7.5-year period of Saturn, that things are not moving? Now, basically what happens when you are undergoing a Saturn Dasa, a Shani Dasa like you say it, you tend to become lethargic. Your mind just doesn't seem to work. You come to a dead end. You feel as if all the avenues have just closed up upon you. Sometimes people say that I don't have the energy now to go ahead and do some more things. I don't have the energy to take risks. Why am I seeing obstacles? I could just smile, look at the chart and see, okay, fine, he's undergoing a Saturn period. What he needs to do now is build up that grit and determination. He has to build up that dedication. Saturn is like that old school teacher who rules with an iron hand. But it's an iron fist in a velvet glove. So you must understand that when you actually build up that grit and determination, dedicate yourself, discipline yourself, you are bound to achieve the results. Everybody is frustrated. It's actually you are seeing a reflection of yourself in the mirror. You're frustrated in your mind, you have mental blocks in your mind, you see the world with the same eyes. So things tend to go kaput, things tend to go completely volcanic. Now, when the 7.5-year period is going, how do you actually manage yourself? Yeah, the correct word is managing yourself. Knowing that you're undergoing the Sadesati, knowing that you're undergoing a 7.5-year period of Saturn, how do you manage yourself? How do you change your attitude, which will eventually determine your altitude? And how do you hold yourself? So if you actually look around and if you do a research, you will realize that all these multi-billionaires in life or all the achievers in life have practically made it during the 7.5-year period, because they used their will and determination, they used their dedication, they used the discipline. I always say the 3 Ds with Sadesati or with Saturn: the determination, dedication and discipline, or the discipline, determination and dedication. So if you take all these 3 Ds in whichever way, once you manage yourself by being dedicated to what you've picked up, determined in achieving that success, and being disciplined, focused and concentrated on what you're doing, you can challenge. You are definitely going to be a success. There's no way that you will not be a success. Again, a catch to it is, you cannot be determined, dedicated and disciplined in something that is not suited to your talents. So your natal chart points out to what you're talented in and what are your potentials. Your transits tell you that this is the period you're undergoing. And if you're barking a wrong tree, you have to actually choose that correct tree and then become determined, disciplined and dedicated to that particular work, success is bound to follow. Knowing yourself truly through your chart, knowing your transit, whether you're undergoing the Saturn's 7.5 year period or Sade Sati, or even the Dhaiya, like they say, for 2.5 year period. You need to know that, because there are 3 major planets that affect the person during the transits. That is the Sun, the Saturn and the Jupiter. The 3 major planets that are affecting us all the time, 24/7 in your transits, which are actually pointing towards how you can get your health, wealth and happiness, is the Sun, the Jupiter and the Saturn. Since we are into knowing, getting a knowledge of that during the 7.5 year period, when I'm undergoing this, how am I supposed to manage myself? Once you learn that, things will become much more fertile for you. For example, here I can say Islam, like I'm a Capricorn and my Lord is Saturn. That doesn't mean that since he is my Lord, he doesn't punish me or he doesn't try to teach me discipline. Negative. It's like parents being strict masters to bring up a complete, good, happy, healthy, wealthy child. Similarly, Saturn, when it is my Lord, I realize that my earth energies need to be more utilized. So, and I don't have that earth energy more in my body. If that is the case, what happens is I wear a neelam, a blue stone, which is either a sapphire or a kyanite or an iolite, which helps me in balancing those energies in my body, so that I'm able to manage myself during the 7.5 year period or the Sade Sati. Like if you notice, I do wear my sapphires all the time, because Saturn is my Lord, and I know that I have to manage myself, whether I was at the age of 6 or now that I'm 60, I have to manage myself. And even in future, I need to manage my things in order to be happy. I need to discipline myself in order to be happy. Now, when 7.5 year period is going for me, what do? I become extra cautious. I become extra dedicated, or I become extra disciplined to achieve the goals that I've set myself for. During the 2.5 year period, the same thing happens. Saturn comes in a strong gust of, it's like a strong gust of wind. You get embroiled in that. You actually don't know whether you're coming or you're going. But a slight introspection in your transit chart, knowing that it's a 2.5 year period, you can use certain strategies to maneuver your way in life. So whether it is now, when it is a major 7.5 year period or a major Sade Sati going on, you must remember that is the major Dasa going on. Side by side, the Saturn planet is affected by the other minor planets, like it could be in combination with your Venus. I use the word affliction, not affliction, but in partnership with other minor planets. Like the major period is of Sade Sati, that is the Saturn, but the sub period is either Jupiter combination or Venus combination or Saturn combination or Saturn Rahu combination, Saturn Ketu combination, Saturn Sun combination, Saturn Mercury combination. Now, once we are seeing the chart or studying the chart of the individual, we come to know that okay, if the 7.5 year period is there, but it is in combination with Mercury, we will tend to tell the person how does he manage himself. He manages himself through communications. If it is the sub period is Venus going on, how do you manage yourself? By not being greedy, by being happy with what you have and trying to build on what you have. If it is going on with Rahu, it means you need to work more harder and more intelligently. If it is going with Ketu, it means you need to do introspection. Chances are that you may be doing something wrong just because you need to achieve your goals hook or by crook, and it will not work. So see, once you are telling the combination or explaining to the individual that if you're going through this period and this is how you need to manage yourself, there's no question again that you won't be happy and you won't be wealthy and won't achieve your targets. But if you're unaware and you think that ignorance is a bliss, I don't know, then the only thing I would say is that the person keeps getting frustrated and keeps getting completely bogged down that why aren't things moving for him. And eventually 7.5 year period is long enough. If you don't do anything during that period, you wasted 7.5 years of your life. There are times when clients have come and told me that I think I have to suffer for 7.5 year periods. Now come on, who wants to suffer for 7.5 years? There's nothing that the miracle is going to happen after 7.5 years and all your obstacles will be removed. You always in life have to work now. You always have to work then. The time that you see there's an obstacle coming, you need to know that you've tried your best. Why is it happening this way? And awareness of knowing how to manage yourself is what will help you tide over the Sadesati or the 7.5 year period or the Dhaya, which we know as 2.5 year period of Saturn. So let not Saturn scare you. I would say let the 7.5 year period prepare you.